Hello. In this lesson we're going to continue to solve systems of equations, and we're still going to use the elimination method in the process. Now when we've done this before, we always asked first, if I add right away, will one of my variables cancel? And in this situation the answer is, of course, no. If I add the x's, 3x and 4x make 7x. If I add the y's, 6y and negative 2y make 4y. And even if I subtract, that's not going to help, because the numbers we have for coefficients are neither the same nor the opposite of each other. So what do? Well, I'm going to focus on the y's in this case. And I notice that negative 2 and 6 have something sort of in common, meaning they both have a 2 inside them, right? 6 is the same as 2 times 3. So what I can do is take the entire bottom times 3. And my goal is to make the positive 6y in the top equation cancel with a negative 6y on the bottom. And let's take a look and see how that works. So the top equation is going to stay the same. So that's a 3x plus 6y equals 27. And then the bottom equation gets multiplied by 3. So 4x times 3 is 12x. Negative 2y times 3 is minus 6y. And 16 times 3 is 48. And now if I add down my columns, my y's will cancel. 3x plus 12x makes 15x. 27 plus 48 makes 75. Alright, so to solve for x, we'll divide by 15 on both sides. And so x ends up being 75 divided by 15 is the number 5. Now we found x, we need to find y. So I'll use the top equation. We'll do 3 times, and instead of x we have 5. Plus 6y is equal to 27. 3 times 5 makes 15. Still adding 6y, getting 27. Subtract 15 over to start getting y by itself. So 6y is equal to 12. When we divide both sides by 6, y is 2. So we have the ordered pair 5, 2. So just to talk more about this, how did I come up with this bottom equation, or rather, why did I pick the number 3 to multiply? And so it has to do with noticing that negative 2 times 3 makes negative 6. And I want my coefficients to be opposite of each other so that I can cancel them. And so what do I have to take negative 2 by to make it the opposite of 6? Well, the opposite of 6 is negative 6, and negative 2 times what makes negative 6? And that means I multiply by 3. But whatever I multiply by, I have to do it on both sides of the equation, which requires me to multiply it by all 3 parts. Let's take a look at another one. In this problem, I have 4x plus 7y equals 9, and 3x plus 3y equals 9. Now, in this problem, again, if I add right away or subtract right away, none of my variables will cancel. So if I look at the 4x and 3x, I'll start with those. Is there something times 3 that gets me 4? And unfortunately, no. How about the y's? Is there something times 3 that gets me 7? At least not an integer, there's not. So that's unfortunate as well. So going back to the x's, between the 4x and the 3x, what is the smallest number that both 4 and 3 go into? And that number is 12. So I'm going to make the top coefficient on x 12. 4 times what makes 12? And that's a 3. The bottom equation, I need to make a negative 12 so that it is opposite. 3 times what number makes negative 12? That's a negative 4. And we'll do our distribution. So on top, 4x times 3 makes 12x, plus 7y times 3 makes 21y, equals 9 times 3 makes 27. On the bottom, 3x times negative 4 is a minus 12x. 3y times negative 4 is a minus 12y. And then that's equal to 9 times negative 4 is minus 36. And we're ready to add down our columns. So our x's cancel just like we wanted. 21y minus 12y is 9y, equals 27 plus negative 36 is a minus 9. And if we divide both sides by 9 to get y alone, y ends up being negative 1. Very nice. So let's plug that in. So we can say, and I'll use the top one again. That's not correct. So the top one, 4x plus 7 times negative 1 equals 9. 4x minus 7 equals 9 then, once we do our multiplication. And let's start getting x by itself. Add 7 to both sides. Try that again, because 9 plus 7 makes 16 instead. And then we divide by 4. So x is equal to 4. And we have our ordered pair, 4 comma negative 1. Okay, and so that's how we can solve a system of equations if when we add or subtract right away, they don't cancel. For right now, we are done.